It is that time again. Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby. Aiden, brother, our rivalry starts again.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just start with on-the-field stuff. We got fantasy rugby as well. And we've said it before, we'll say it again. We're going big time into it. So go into the description of the video. Go join our league. The code will be there. The sign-up league link, everything will be there. Right, geez, falling over the words. Aiden, brother, how are you doing? Are you ready?
I'm so excited. I love the Rugby Championship. I mean, we had obviously Six Nations to start the year. We had obviously Super Rugby, which we did a lot of week in, week out, and the fantasy for that for the first time, which was brilliant. Now, for the first time ever, we have probably the most competitive Rugby Championship we've ever seen, and we get fantasy on top of that. So it's like a double whammy. It's double excitement. I am frothing. It's going to be such a good tournament. I'm so excited. And I'm ready to talk shit to you about fantasy and be better than you again in fantasy, because I do it all the time, to be honest. So it'll just be nothing different. And then hopefully my team beats yours.
Calm down. I missed a couple of weeks. That's why. I took a sabbatical in the middle of it. Anyway, we'll obviously speak about this weekend's games. That's the main talking point. But I kind of want to hear your opinion on it, because I heard there was a couple of people that said they don't want to play the fantasy because it takes away from the experience of actually watching the game and kind of supporting their team. Because let's say, for instance, the Boks are playing the All Blacks, and you've got Will Jordan in your team and Cheslin Colby. You still want to perform with the fantasy. Do you agree that it takes away a bit, or do you just so with the fantasy, you're just purely following your brain and you don't really want something to happen? That's just kind of what you see. Or do you think it's kind of impossible not to be biased towards it?
I think it adds to the experience. I can understand you don't want people scoring against your own team, but the reality of it, it's going to happen. I doubt there's going to be any games where no one scores any points, right? So it's not about supporting the players playing against you. It's about being smart enough to go, well, if they are going to score points against my team, who are going to be the guys to do it? And then putting them in your team. You don't have to support the people playing against you. You just have to be smart enough to realize that they're going to score points against you. So make sure you pick the right players. When the All Blacks play South Africa, even if I have, Cheslin Colby or Kurtley Aarons are in my team, I'm not going to support them to score a try. If they score no tries, amazing. But if someone does score a try for South Africa, I'm going to be hoping that I picked the right player, and it was a Colby or an Aarons, or if they're in my team.
You can set the balance pretty easily, right? Because when we played the Super Rugby thing, you could have picked a lot of guys that played against the Hurricanes because they were so shit at the start of the season. So you kind of have practice in setting up that boundary for yourself. Anyway, people, please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Go to Aiden's TikTok as well. Go and show him some love and support there. Rugby Ramblings, he'll be on it when it comes to this Rugby Championship. Going into the first week, we've got South Africa taking on the Wallabies, our first little discussion point. Big news. Do you want to break the news? I don't know if everyone's seen it. We just spoke about it. Give the people the news, Aiden.
For the first time in 11 years, I think, James O'Connor will have a starting jersey for the Wallabies is the news. I'm not sure if it's 1,000 or 100% confirmed, but it's pretty likely that he will be starting. So if you watched him in Super Rugby, you would know he'd come off the bench for the Crusaders. Was absolutely brilliant. Played great all season, was clutch when he needed to be, kicked a winning penalty against the Blues in a really tight match. And he's a level-headed guy. He's played all these teams before. He's had success against all of these teams before. He's a brilliant guy for Joe Schmidt to bring into a squad when they've got injury troubles at 10. And when you can bring in a guy with that much experience, played all over the world, what an addition.
Don't you feel a bit for Ben Donaldson, who's been left out? Like James O'Connor didn't touch the grass the entire Lions series. Injury crisis. We don't go for the guy that's been on the bench all the games. We're saying, listen, you're staying on the bench and we're going with James O'Connor. Do you feel it's a bit unfair, or do you just think they see Ben Donaldson playing the role of the 23?
Yeah, I think, again, it's just the way you look at a bench player versus a starting player. You know, it's not rugby of 20 years ago where you had 15 starters and then you had second-rate guys coming off the bench. The guys off the bench are just as good as the guys on the field. They're brought on for their impact and physicality, speeding up the game. So Ben Donaldson is just as good as a James O'Connor. And I think they just want his change in tempo off the bench, maybe bring something new to the game if it's not quite working out. And he can offer that off the bench. So I don't think it's because he's, not as good of a player. I just think they like him in that bench role, that impact position role.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And how do you think the Wallabies squad, because we can kind of guess what they'll probably be doing. How do you think overall they match up against South Africa playing style wise, and the team, especially looking at the front, not the front row, but the forward pack, matching up with the physicality of the Springboks? Because obviously we'll segue into the Springboks with this, who announced their team on a Monday. Do you reckon, because they showed a lot of physicality throughout the Lions series? I mean, I was so impressed with the way that they matched physically, scrum time, lineouts, mauls, breakdown, everything. Do you reckon they can front up against the South Africans in South Africa as well?
I think they can front up, yes. I think the important thing is being able to front up for the entire game. I think in the last two Lions tests, I think they were the dominant forward pack in both those games. I don't think they'll get that dominance against South Africa, but I think there'll be
even
parity.
In the second half of the first game, I would say.
Yeah, but I think they'll get that parity, and so it's about, with the South African team, you can stop points being scored against you quite a bit if you stop giving away stuff at set piece times, line out mauls, and scrums. It's easier said than done. Me saying it sounds really easy. It's not. It's their bread and butter. It's what they're brilliant at. They'll force you to make errors. They'll force you to make knock-ons, and they'll go to a scrum. They'll win a scrum penalty. They'll get territory, or they'll kick for posts. Obviously, they've got more to their game than that, but it's an easy way for South Africa to rack up points on the board, and scoreboard pressure becomes the thing the longer the game goes on. So I think if they can stamp out that and not give away too many penalties at scrum time, and then compete at the line-out, which they absolutely dominated the Lions in the final test. They won 7 or 8 lineouts against the throw, which is ridiculous in a first-class game of rugby. Like, absolutely nuts. That doesn't happen. No. I don't think they won't get that against South Africa with their lineout operators. But if they can disrupt them a bit, make it messy, I think they'll be able to have a foothold in the match and hopefully get themselves in it.
To be fair, right? South Africa's lineup for the past season, these past 4 tests, and when you look at last year's rugby championship, it wasn't the best. The success rate just wasn't, especially, I don't want to jump on the guy already, but like Bongi Manambi's lost a ton of lineouts. Even Malcolm Marx, who had like a 98% success rate, his lineouts hasn't been great either, right? So possibly the Australians could exploit that, but I'm pretty sure that we've worked tirelessly on that, knowing that could be a weakness. I mean, everyone's been calling it out, so obviously they'll be working on it as well. By the way, I see my internet's dropping a little bit. Just tell me if I've frozen up. But when you look at South Africa, we're a country of traditions, right? And I forgot to ask you this at the start. Now, I know you live in England, right? But if you had to take England and New Zealand combined, what is your rugby essentials when you watch a game? So for us, that would be the green and gold jersey has to be there. You have to have a braai. You have to have some beers, right? Or brandewyn, bet slip, your fantasy league now. Obviously, those are the 6 essentials for us. With like a little snack, whether that's a chip or biltong, trobbles, whatever it is. What's the rugby essentials in New Zealand, and what's it in England?
Well, over here, I'll be going to the pub and watching the game. So you have a pint and you watch the game. Obviously, add fantasy into that now. In New Zealand, I don't know if there's anything that's like that goes along with it. Again, you'd go to a bar and watch a game and try and watch it with other people. We used to do that all the time. When I was involved with it myself on the TAB, which is the betting app in New Zealand, got involved in that a few times. Never ended up winning too much money. It's hard to win money when you bet on the All Blacks. They don't pay out very well.
They pay out better now.
Yeah, it's a good time to bet on the All Blacks now. But like back when I was, I caught the tail end of the dominant series, and they paid $1.10 to win a game. It's like, oh, it's not really worth. It's not really worth paying out that to bet on them. If it was like a game in the Northern Hemisphere, and I was in New Zealand watching it, and you get up at like 3 a.m. or something to watch the game, you used to have mouse traps, which are like, I don't know if it's like a piece of bread, butter, and cheese, and you chuck it in the oven and you heat it up. It's like cheese on toast. It was amazing.
Fair enough. Yeah, that sounds good.
Those were gas. Sometimes they have like Marmite under the cheese, also really good. But
no, you lost me now.
Otherwise, I just want a beer, watch the rugby, and be as loud as I can and obnoxious when I disagree with a call or we score a try or get a turnover. I'm yelling at the TV. That's an essential, yelling at the TV.
Yeah, well, yelling at the TV and the ref, because we also watch a lot of games at the pub, right? And when the ref makes a call, and obviously when let's say it's a bit more of an advanced call, right? You'll always see the casuals coming out, ref, what the fuck, right? It's just the basic thing that always happens, but it kind of sums up rugby. Right, it's brilliant. I love it. I love that traditions. So people come into the comment sections and tell us what are your rugby essentials, what are your rugby traditions that you follow when your country plays. Now, talking about the Boks and the Wallabies, we just spoke about the Wallabies. Is it in rugby ethics to announce your team on a Monday? Is that in the spirit of the game?
Who cares, brother? Honestly, announce your team when you want to. How? Announce your team.
I'm just taking the piss with Matt Williams, by the way.
Announce the team for Eden Park already. I'm sick of waiting. Yeah,
probably already have the team for Eden Park. I wouldn't be surprised.
Probably. Yeah, I think it's just Rassie doing Rassie things. He wants to be different. He's keeping his team in the media. There's always something to talk about. It brings the eyes to the sport. Like every time he does something new, the same fans be like, oh, it's Rassie up to his tricks. But it's new fans coming in and looking at it and seeing what he's doing. So I love it. I hope he keeps doing it. I hope he keeps changing it up. And you never know what day he's going to drop a team.
Yeah, of course. Are you surprised that we've gone with a 5-3 split?
Yeah, I'm very surprised with the team selection in general.
That's crazy to think, right? You go with a normal split and people find it surprising.
Yeah. So it's not just that. I think the players they've selected in the positions, I know they have a couple of injuries, but it's definitely not the strongest team that they can put out. And they know it's not the strongest team that they can put out. So I'm interested. I think all the players that are playing are brilliant, really, really good, but it's not the strongest team. And
that's crazy to think, right? Because most of those players probably get into most other countries' first team.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like you've got Khaleesi playing at 8, which I know they're starting to move him there. When you guys have had a few injury troubles at 8 at the moment. Obviously, you've got Van Staden who moves into the Lucies to make way for that. Esterhazen in for DDA, a little bit injured, I believe. And then obviously you've got Libok starting at 10, no Pollard, no Sasha. Yeah, and you've got Valimson on the bench who hasn't played international rugby.
Well, if you think about our 8 dilemma with all the injuries that we have, Rassie Erasmus throughout his career has kind of been like Oprah Winfrey. You get a cap, you get a cap, you get a cap. You want a cap, you get a cap. Except for Evan Roos. That's everyone gets a cap except you, Evan. Fuck you, Evan. Love you, Evan, but you're not getting a cap. Right? It's the strangest thing in the world. Like the one position that's so thin, we've got probably the best 8, right, in the country available, and we're not playing him. And it's like, well, okay, it is what it is. Anyway, I still love the team. I think it's a good team on form. I mean, if you can replace Cheslin Colby, who's got a little injury niggle, the same with Damian Valimson, and you replace them with Andre Esterhazen, who a lot of people will say could say is fighting for top 5 inside centers in the world, right? Arguably, Edwin van der Merwe, who's been sensational, 5 tries in 3 games. Should have had man of the match in all 3 of those games. He's been unbelievable. So it feels like an informed team as well. And you are fooling yourself if you don't think they might just switch it up before Saturday. An hour before the game, all of a sudden there's an injury. but there's been an injury all week. And then all of a sudden you see, okay, it's 6-2. And Andre Esterhuizen might slot into the Lucy position because Rasia spoke about that as well. So it's a crazy thing.
What do you think happens first? Esterhuizen comes in as Lucy cover, or Evan Roos gets a start?
No, mark my words, Andre Esterhuizen, if the game, I wouldn't say if the game's done, but if we in a more comfortable position, I can see Loriager and Eben Etzebeth going off, right? We see Franco Mostert going into lock. I've got to work with my mind now with using the
lock as well.
Something like that. And then Kwagga Smith comes on as 8. Andre Esterhuizen goes to 7. And then you have Damian Valimson, not even slotting in as 10 cover, but inside center cover, because that guy is fucking massive at the moment. Have you seen how big he is, bro? Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah, there you go. Chunky boy.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's not even fat, bro. If you see how he looks built like a brick wall. The guy's insane.
Yeah. Hopefully he hasn't played rugby since like 1946. Like he's been injured for so long.
Yeah, I can't jog, so I'll just hit the gym all day.
Yeah. Now it'd be good to see him
back.
He
should get onto his diet.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him playing first class international rugby again. He's obviously a class player, and we've missed watching him play quite a bit.
Yeah, we'll move into the All Blacks versus Argentina. Before we do that, give me your official prediction for the Wallabies one. I know it's tough because we haven't seen the Wallabies lineup, but if we had to guess what it would probably be 80% correct, 85% correct in our guesses. Yeah. What are we going for?
It's going to be pretty similar to the final lines test. I don't think Valetini is going to be back, which is a big miss. But in saying that, it's not the Springboks' biggest pack, so at least you're not losing out too much on that massive physicality that Valetini brings. I don't know. Everything's in Australia's favour in terms of preparation. They've had far better prep, more time together, playing better teams, but they're playing South Africa. And I don't know. I don't want to be boring and just go like South Africa. I think it's going to be close. I think this will be a very close game. I can see a world where South Africa nudge over by 4 points. But that's boring. So I'm going to say upset, Australia win.
Oh, wow. We differ so much.
Again, it's going to be a close game regardless, but I'm going to say 3 points to Australia just to keep it interesting. I do think I'm leaning towards South Africa winning, but that's boring.
I'm going with South Africa by 16 points. Now, in saying that, I think it will be a very tight first half, and then kind of South Africa's bomb squad coming on and the size that's coming off the bench. That'll make the difference in the second half. Or it can be kind of a runaway for South Africa in the first half and then Australia fight back in the second half, kind of like we saw in the first test against the Lions. I think the second test might be closer than the first test. I don't know. I just feel like all the prep that we've had, obviously our coaches aren't blind, right? Like they could see the performances weren't necessarily up to scrap. And now these guys have to put a performance together to show that they are still ready to play for that green and gold jersey. Because the one thing that we spoke about was the youngsters coming through, they've put up their hand. And they put up their hand sensationally. So the more experienced guys, their positions are under threat. And that's kind of what you want, right? Guys fighting for positions. And that's what's happening. So I'm backing the Boks by 16, but not your usual 16-point victory. So maybe 9 points and then a try at the end or something like that. Right? Scrappy 16 points. It feels crazy to say. Anyway, then we're going over to New Zealand. My bad, I forgot. Is this who's playing home in the first game for New Zealand versus Argentina? Argentina's home.
Both games are in Argentina.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
What's happening in this one? How are you feeling about the All Blacks in the current state with the injuries and stuff, or do you think guys are about
We've
to
got a
step
few
up?
people back. Bodie's back. Scott's back. So all Barretts will be ready and available. 3 Barretts on the field.
Massive.
So that's good. And obviously we've got lots of options at loose forward. Like we have so many options at loose forward right now. Christian Leawilly, who got his debut against France, played amazingly in all the games. He got dropped from the squad. Because we had Peter Larkai come back. Simon Parker, who's had an amazing season for the Chiefs, is back in it as well. Duplessis Karifi was excellent in the France series off the bench as well. See Adi Savia, Wallace Satiti coming back.
It's that vape that's making Scotty make these crazy decisions, Razor. Like, he's eating the vape and then saying, okay, I'll just get rid of Leo Willie, who's been sensational. Makes no sense.
I mean, we've just got Lucy as a position. We've got so much depth at the moment. I think the biggest one for us is halfback. We've still got depth. It's just I feel like there is a drop-off between one Cam Roygaard and the rest. The rest are all really good. Like Cortez Ratama played really well in the Rugby Championship last year, played well against South Africa both games, even though they were both losses. He just sort of fell off a bit in the Northern Tour. Kyle Preston, excellent in Super Rugby for the Crusaders, had a breakout season. And then obviously Finlay Christie is there as cover as well. Not a big Christie fan, but he's still experienced. He knows what he's doing.
He plays for the Blues, right?
No, I just don't like him in the All Blacks jersey. He doesn't fit the style of rugby we like playing. But he's experienced, he's reliable enough. So, yeah, I think with a few injuries coming back, I still think it's going to be really, really close. Again, I see this game could be very similar to Australia, South Africa, and the way it turns out. I said to you during the week, there's a world, I reckon like a 20% chance that Argentina and Australia win first week.
Well, if we look at the recent performances of Argentina, right? Obviously a massive victory for them against the Lions, but then losing to very much a second to third string English team. Obviously, props to England. They're building on their squad depth. We've talked about this a million times. Watch out for them in the 2027 World Cup. Obviously, it wasn't the prime Argentinian team necessarily, but they would have still been expected to get over the line, right? In terms of number 5 versus number 6 in the world at that time. And they got hammered. They got pumped on their home ground. Do you reckon that kind of sets them back a bit? Or does this open up the opportunity for them to be written off as they usually do and cause some crazy upsets?
It's just Argentina, man. Like, Argentina are what France used to be. Like, where you just have no clue what team's going to turn up. They could be awful and lose 2 games at home to a B-strength England team, who is still pretty strong, as you said. They've got quite a bit of depth at the moment. But they were terrible in those games. Or they could just turn up and do what they did last year and beat every team in the competition once. Like, what is going on with them? They have no form of consistency. And, they've been breaking records a little bit, obviously, against New Zealand. They've won 3 times against New Zealand now. They've still never beat New Zealand in Argentina. So that'll be a record that they want to get rid of, to break. So I think they'll be up for it. And I'm a little nervous because I think that really good Argentinian team could turn up. And without a few injuries here and there, I think it'll be a tight game. I'm going to back my boys because I'm an All Black fan. But I'm not going to shy away from the fact that Argentina are a side that are so hard to predict what they're going to
do. Who would be your player to watch for the All Blacks in this game and for the rest of the Rugby Championship?
Oh, I haven't seen the squad yet. Obviously, the squad will come out tomorrow. I'm interested to see what they're going to keep doing with Tupou Vai. Now that Scott Barrett's back, are they going to just go Fabian Holland at 4 because he's been excellent, pairing up with Scott Barrett, which is probably a smart idea because he would have someone super experienced next to him. And then obviously Tupou Vai has been probably our best player. He's been unreal.
Been unreal at 6. So
pardon?
He's been unreal at 6 though for the All Blacks.
Unreal at 6, unreal at lock for Super Rugby. Like, he's just playing some crazy good rugby at the moment. But anyone else wants to watch?
I think Bowden Barrett, especially with the news of Richie coming back.
Yeah, you've got to put his hand up again. It's crazy that a guy with 132 caps is proving himself to be
More
the
caps
10.
than Ibn Etzebeth.
He's got more caps than Ibn Etzebeth, and or I think they almost might be on the same. I think it's 132.
Okay.
And he's still trying to prove himself to keep that 10 jersey. He's got 2 World Player of the Years at 10, and he's still. Oh, we got to see more from him. Like this guy,
Alan Jones record broken. I'm not too sure.
he's got potential. He's got potential.
He can possibly do it for us. Possibly.
Yeah, like it's a luxury. I think there'll be concerns post World Cup with obviously 3 of our top 10s being over the age of 30. But look, Bodie is amazing. Like he is one of a kind. He's one of the best 10s to ever do it. And he's trustworthy. You know, you feel confident when he's playing 10. He knows what he's doing. And he has the best record at 10 of any of the 10s that we've got at the moment. And it's not really close either. His winning percentages.
Well, if you look at the way that France performed against you guys, and you know the attacking threat of Argentina, does that potentially concern you a bit? Because we have to give Argentina flowers as well. Because when Argentina and Italy, same WhatsApp group, in my opinion, in terms of if you give them space, you're done for. That's 5 points that you're conceding right there. So clinical when they get that ball in hand, especially if you look at the likes that Thomas Albanose has just come into international rugby, and he's just set the world alight. He was my 10 of the season last season. He was just sensational, right? Every time he touches the ball, absolute magic. You think of the flyers that he has outside of him, the experience that they have there. You look at the experience that they have in the loose forwards as well. They're not going down without a fight. The only big thing for me when it comes to this match that makes me lean New Zealand will do it is the physicality. I just think that when it comes to scrum time, the rucks and those type of things, I think the New Zealand pack looks more fit overall. You've seen what they've even done to the Springboks. Like they've pretty much held the Springboks, and they so strong, and they play long minutes.
Yeah.
You'll see a fleshy mule playing 65, 70 minutes as a prop, which is craziness.
And winning scrum penalties at 65, 70 minutes. He's absolutely immense. And yeah, I mean, I'm really confident with our team. I don't want to, again, I think Argentina are dangerous, but I'm really confident in the way our team's going. And some of the guys that are still to come back, like Tamaiti Williams, I think is one of the best props in the world, if not the best prop in the world at the moment. And he's injured and he's not playing. He is massive. Tyrell Lomax also out, who's been our best prop for 4 years. Yeah, I'm really excited. And like you
as well.
More, yeah. And like you are with the Springboks of the young guys coming through that are putting their hand up and proving that they deserve to be there. Fabian Holland, the guy's played 3 games, all 80 minutes, missed 1 tackle in 3 games.
Yeah.
And it's just like he's been an absolute
Fabian do tackle.
Yeah, Fabian do tackle. He's basically just Peter Steff at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you are, I'm just really excited with the team, and I feel like this is why this competition's so exciting this year.
So what's the official prediction? What are we going with?
I'm going to go similar vein to what you said in the South Africa-Australia game.
Remember, Argentina's already lost 2 in a row now.
Yeah, they have. So I reckon, play-by-play, I think Argentina will score first and maybe it's like a 10, 12-point lead. And then I think we'll come back and we'll win it in the second half by 10 points.
I think one game is close, either way, and then the other game, New Zealand blows them out of the water. I was very impressed by New Zealand in that in the tour to France. I know France had a rotational team, but I think if you look at all the injuries and stuff combined, the chemistry that you built over those 3 games was very good. Let's go. I'm going wild. I'm thinking high scoring. New Zealand by 30.
30. Christ.
Or 25 to 30, yeah.
We're not on the same page today, which is good. At least our predictions will be different.
Well, remember, we've seen this a million times where it's kind of like a 10-point game, New Zealand score, right, to make it a 17-point game in the 78th minute, and they just score again to get the bonus point.
Yeah, bonus points, man, how important are they going to be in this competition?
Because they're going to push for it, right? So then kind of Argentina knows, okay, we're not getting anything from this game. New Zealand's still playing for it. Bang, score another try. That's 24 points right there. Yeah. I'm just making an example, by the way, of something that could happen. I'm guessing the first game might be the blowout one. But it's usually the first one that catches New Zealand, right? So
yeah, I mean, it's what happened last year. We lost to Argentina in Wellington.
Okay, might be swallowing my words on that one, but we'll back it, right? If it doesn't happen this week, I'm doing the exact same thing next week then.
Yeah, gotcha.
Anyway, people, thank you very much for watching. As I said, please go and show Aiden some love and support there on his TikTok as well. Rugby Ramblings. Join our fantasy league as well. We don't want to spoil our teams or anything like that, so we're taking it very serious. You're representing your countries, right? So this is bragging rights up for play. Because if I beat Aiden in fantasy league, he will get cooked every week, every minute of it. Every line that he says, potentially something shady, I'll just throw it back in his face, and he'll do the same, right? Because that's the banter that we live in, the world that we live in. It's bragging rights up for play. Please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.